Coming up on today's episode, we've got our first Google TV box, Logitech's review, the worst remote ever, top 5 election movies, viewer answers, and of course, the Blu-ray releases for the week of November 2nd, 2010. This is HD Nation.
HD Nation.
Today's episode is brought to you by Netflix. Go to www.netflix.com/HDNation for your free trial membership. Squarespace and Carbonite Online Backup. Start your free trial at Carbonite.com with the offer code HDNation and get 2 bonus months if you decide to buy.
Welcome to HD Nation. I'm Robert Heron.
And I'm Patrick Norton. HD Nation is your guide to the best in HD content and the best in home theater gear, no matter what your budget is. Blu-ray, online, satellite, cable, over the air. If it's in HD, we like it. Google,
yes.
I have good news.
So do I.
Raise your fingers.
All right.
We're number 1. Woo! No, I'm not talking about the Giants. It's actually Cisco's latest visual network. I should point out a number of the staffers here at Vision 3 are rabid. Bring the Orange Festival out here. We got some serious...
Showing some love.
There he is. He's like, look at how happy this man is. He's going to see a World Series game as soon as he gets out of the studio. Anyhow, what is number 1 is streaming video, according to Cisco's latest visual networking index. Basically, they look at everything moving across the web because Cisco's got a lot of routers out there. More than a quarter of all internet traffic worldwide is video, or as NewTV.com puts it, video tops peer-to-peer file sharing traffic, which means video traffic, which is considered flash streaming and streaming via P2P, not direct downloads to your computer. It basically means streaming video traffic is the biggest user of bandwidth in the world, with 26% of all the internet traffic. Peer-to-peer file sharing at 25%, down from 38% last year.
Wow.
Right. Here's the thing, though. New TV's Ryan Lawler notes that it's not that peer-to-peer usage is shrinking, but that video consumption is growing that much faster. So I think we need some bigger tubes. And by the way, check out the article on NewTV.com. Lots of good stuff there.
Nice. In other news, DVD to Blue, BLU, that's Warner's swap a DVD for a Blu-ray program, just got really interesting. Our friends over at Engadget HD are reporting that it will accept any DVD, only studio releases sold at retail, and no porn please, as trade toward one of its selection of 105 Blu-ray releases, with most priced at $4.95 each. Now, there are some great movies on this list.
There's some really good movies.
Worth checking out.
Yeah, as little as $5 if you order, basically if you send them like a bunch of DVDs and you pay them more than $35, they'll even do the shipping for free.
I'm actually starting to do that with some of my old HD DVDs that have been hanging on to for really no good reason.
Well, in this case, like, you know, you buy a DVD for $1, you send it to Warner Brothers with a check, and you get a Blu-ray back. Which,
nice. Oh, and I have to say, an even happier news, my long-awaited Seaton cable card tuner has arrived. Oh, I got it last night.
No picture, it didn't happen, dude.
Oh, I do have pictures.
Oh.
I have pictures.
Oh, sorry.
In fact, I'm probably going to display one right now. There we go. Done. I actually installed it in my current home theater PC. It actually fit. I was surprised. I had to get it
because it's a very tiny box.
It was, and it's a rather thick card, relatively speaking. Right. So it's in there. Then, of course, I made my trip over. I'm a Comcast cable subscriber. That's all I have here. So I go to their office to go pick up my brand new cable card for my Seaton tuner. I go to knock on the door. It's like, they have a sign up. They are closed today only for no explicable reason. It was just like, baseball. Baseball's messing me up today.
World Series, man. Destroying
anyway,
all normal functioning in Northern California is done.
So it's installed.
Friday.
Yeah. I got Seaton cable card tuners. I've got baseball on the brain. Basically, I've got that sucker installed, and as soon as I get that card in there and everything checks out and it works just fine, quad tuning.
4 live HD
quad
channels.
Tuning. Yeah. It's like one multi-stream cable card plus that setup gives me up to 4 channels of simultaneous recording. If the hardware can handle it, we'll find out.
I think you need some bigger hard drives.
We'll have something to talk about that either. I got some word from our folks, some friends at Intel, basically, about some new platform stuff that we'll be able to check out soon as far as home theater PC builds go. So I'm excited.
So you might want to hold off a few weeks if you're building a home theater PC. By the way, if you've got a compatible NVIDIA GPU and you're ready to experience the full 3D HDTV thing, you should head to NVIDIA.com and download their new free 3D TV Play software. It basically makes NVIDIA's 3D Vision gear compatible with the 3D use on HDTVs. This is a nice it's good stuff. Here's the thing though, the software, it's free, but you still need a 3D HDTV, so you might need to buy something like a new HDTV that's 3D compatible. And do that before you download the software, because you don't want to download the software, put in your glasses, and go, this doesn't work, because you're staring at a non-3D HDTV.
But that whole 3D thing's now moving to that home theater PC space.
Yes.
Or computing space, period.
Slowly but surely. Now we just need some good content. And actually, a lot of people are saying 3D video games, a lot of people are saying that from sort of the high-end retail that the real motivator for 3D in that space is video gamers.
I wouldn't doubt it. Especially until we get over this whole hump of having specific movies tied to specific hardware, 3D movies tied to specific hardware, because that's a problem right now for just being able to see what's currently available.
3 or 4 3D Blu-ray titles. Actually, we're probably at BlueCon right now as you're watching this, which is the sort of annual Blu-ray gathering at the Beverly Hilton. So if you hear of us being arrested in Los Angeles, we probably got arrested in Beverly Hills.
No, we'll be fine.
Yeah, you know.
I have friends.
This is good, but it'll be interesting it'll be interesting if they do any announcements on what's coming out in terms of 3D content.
I'd like to see a greater selection. At least the titles that are currently available be made available to more people.
Yeah. Well, the keynote speaker, Mr. Blue Aliens himself. Yes.
Cameron?
Yes. He'll be there. So we'll be stalking him, and that might be why we get arrested. And we're going to have a lot of good stuff for you from BlueCon on next week's show.
Good deal. Hey, Western Digital just released its new WD TV Live Hub. It's a 1080p networked media player packed with a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's got a couple of interesting twists. Yes, it's got Netflix, Pandora, YouTube, and Facebook. You can also buy and rent movies from Blockbuster On Demand the day they are released on Blu-ray or DVD. Pretty cool. And it's also a DLNA UPnP compatible media server. Woohoo! That works with USB keyboards. Hey, there you go. No typing in those virtual little meshes. Anyway,
nothing more than like typing in IP addresses on a freaking remote control.
Or a very long key for your Wi-Fi access. It's a little bit easier with a real keyboard. There's also no Wi-Fi built in. Well, there is no Wi-Fi built in, but for $200, we're curious, especially if you can add additional storage to it.
That's not a bad like self-contained server that also acts as a home theater. Well, not a home theater PC, but a media box that streams everything, including MKV files, to your television.
Network and local storage.
Yes. Now we just need bigger hard drives. By the way, Google TV is here. Mr. Heron has gone in depth with the Logitech review. We'll be showing you that later in the show. And we'll also be reviewing Sony's new Google HD TV shortly, probably week after next. Sony Internet TVs start at $600 for the 24-inch version, top out at $1,400 for the 46-inch version. I will say that the remote that comes with Sony's Google TV, which is otherwise a really nice piece of design, is perhaps the single worst remote I have ever used in my life. Nobody needs 230 freaking keys and like, what do you call the little paddles on the top of a PS3 control?
Little rocker switches?
The rocker switches.
Or, like on a PS3, like triggers.
The triggers. What'd you call them? The shoulder buttons? Like you have to hold the shoulder button down to scroll instead of using the arrow keys and stuff.
Okay.
It's
hopefully that's firmware tweakable.
It might get better with practice, right? Like
right.
There's just a lot going on with that remote control.
That sounds busy.
Busy.
With a lot of chiclets for buttons.
Busy. Speaking of which, let's take a moment to hear from one of our sponsors. Look, we're going to tell you right now, you have gigabytes, perhaps even terabytes of meticulously maintained video and audio files that you trust to entertain you at all hours of the night, but eventually you're going to have a computer disaster. Your computer crashes, it's damaged, it's stolen, your house burns to the ground. If you got Carbonite Online Backup, your files, they're out in the cloud. They're backed up automatically, safely, off-site, so it'll be easy to get them back. It's pretty easy, seriously. You can access your backed up files remotely from any computer or from your iPhone or your BlackBerry with a free Carbonite app, and it's cheap. $55 a year for unlimited backup for your PC or Mac, but it gets better. If you use the offer code HDNation to start your free 15-day trial, you get 2 months free if you choose to buy into Carbonite's service. All the details are up at Carbonite.com, and remember, use the offer code HDNation to get 2 months of the Carbonite service for free. Do me a favor, back up your data before something bad happens, because someone watching right now, your system's going to crash. Just saying. Today is the first Tuesday in November, and here in America, that means mayhem and screaming in the streets. No, it means Election Day. Now's the time to make an impact on who represents you and your interests. So please, hopefully you voted before you watched HD Nation. Get to the ballot box before the end of the day. Make your voice heard. In the meantime, we're going to bring you our top 5 election movies, or at least the few we can actually find on Blu-ray. First up, Election. This 1999 comedy is based on a book and stars Matthew Broderick and Reese Witherspoon. It tells the story of a 3-way high school election race based loosely on 2 events, the Bush-Clinton-Perot election of '92 and an incident at a Wisconsin high school where a pregnant student was elected homecoming queen, but the staff burned the ballots and announced a different winner because they sucked. It's not just a superficial comedy either. This film earned a nomination for both an Academy Award and a Golden Globe. It is spectacular. Watch it. It's kind of fascinating. Next on our list, Milk. This film is based on the true story of the first openly gay elected official in California, Harvey Milk, shot right here in San Francisco, much like Mr. Milk himself. Milk stars Sean Penn, directed by Gus Van Sant, and features a score by Danny Elfman. It was nominated for 8 Academy Awards with 2 wins. The film was released on Blu-ray early last year with a disappointing 30 minutes worth of special features, but it is a fantastic view of politics and how much they've changed, or not, in the last 30 years. Number 3, The Manchurian Candidate. We have to go with the 2004 version here because the original 1962 version isn't out on Blu-ray yet. Bummer. Both are based on the 1959 novel by Richard Condon and tell the story of a war hero becomes a vice presidential candidate under, well, sketchy circumstances. The 2004 version stars Denzel Washington and Meryl Streep, amongst others, and is directed by Jonathan Demme, who brought us The Silence of the Lambs a decade before. We prefer the classic version, but the 2004 film ain't bad. Next up, Nixon. This one isn't strictly an election movie, as it covers much of Richard Nixon's life from his childhood all the way to his resignation in '74. Directed by Oliver Stone, who does occasionally play fast and loose with reality and history, and starring Anthony Hopkins in a spectacular role as the man himself. This film is over 3 hours long, and it's just one of Stone's many politically focused epics alongside JFK and W. Interesting one to watch. Which brings us to number 5, W. Similar to Nixon, it follows the life and presidency of a president, this time George W. Bush, as he transforms from a Yale frat boy in the 60s to a presidential candidate 30-something years later. Released in 2008, W stars Josh Brolin as the lead and Richard Dreyfuss as an amazing Dick Cheney. Spectacular bit of acting by Richard Dreyfuss there. Worth watching. And a few more movies we really wish were out on Blu-ray. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, so awesome. Bob Roberts, another awesome movie. Primary Colors, another awesome movie. Recount, HBO's retelling of the Bush election. And the ever-classic 1972, The Candidate, starring Robert Redford. Just to watch the scene where he's said the same campaign speech one too many times. Worth the effort.
Hey, it's time for the new Blu-ray releases for November 2nd, 2010. First up, the 1957 epic, The Bridge on the River Kwai. British POWs in World War II forced to build a bridge for the Japanese, the obsessed commander they serve under, and the commandos sent in to make sure that the Burma-Siam Railroad stays cut. Tightly directed by David Lean, who you might know from Lawrence of Arabia or Dr. Zhivago or Passage to India, not one of my favorite flicks, that last one, starring William Holden, Alec Guinness in one of his best roles, and a powerful supporting cast. All wrapped on a gorgeous 4K restoration, dropped on a 50GB Blu-ray disc in 1080p MPEG-4 AVC and a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 soundtrack. This is the best this movie has looked since it came out in 1957. Blu-ray.com notes that, quote, the fine detail is exemplary too, with the 1080p transfer capturing the slightest frays in uniforms, the texture of the dirt terrain around the camp, sweaty and scraggly faces, or the wood grains on the planks that make up the bridge. And they didn't script the film grain either, always a nice touch. The 5.1 audio track ain't no Iron Man, but in 1957, movie sound, even for epic pictures, was a bit tamer. Next up, Toy Story 3. It's the 3rd movie in the beloved Pixar franchise. Woody and Buzz are back with a whole bunch of new friends, and this time they are fighting for their lives as Andy has grown up and is leaving for college. Aww. Blu-ray.com calls this transfer, quote, Pixar perfect, with impeccable contrast and immaculate detail. Even saying anything less than hyperbole would fail to accurately describe the breathtaking visual spectacle that awaits fans. As far as the DTS HD Master Audio 7.1 surround track, Blu-ray.com says, quote, Disney has outdone itself and takes full advantage of a veritable sandbox of ambient effects. If that wasn't enough reason to pick up this release, it also comes with over 5 hours of extras. You'll get a full-length picture-in-picture commentary with storyboards and concept art, an alternative commentary, a 40-minute collection of production featurettes that provided behind-the-scenes anecdotes, Another 30-minute collection of family play features, an interactive trivia game for the kids, 30 minutes of promos from the film, the day and night theatrical short that played before the film in theaters, and much more. And if you want a DVD version and a digital copy, you can pick up the 4-disc version for just $5 more. Pretty good deal. Also released this week, HBO's The Pacific. We haven't seen the Blu-ray transfer of the HBO Tom Hanks follow-up to Band of Brothers yet, but if it's as good as HBO's other Blu-ray releases, we'll want this one in our collection. The 10-part miniseries follows the United States Marine Corps' 1st Division campaigns in the Pacific Theater. Adapted from the stories of Eugene Sledge, Robert Leckie, and John Basilone, it's a powerful examination of the emotional impact that some of the most brutal combat in history had on its participants. Other releases include Cars Toon, Mater's Tall Tales, 2010's Centurion, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Dinosaurs Alive in IMAX 3D, X-Terminators, The Goonies 25th Anniversary Collector's Edition, Highlander, Highlander 2, IMAX, Grand Canyon Adventure, River at Risk in 3D, IMAX Van Gogh, Brush with Genius, Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, The Big Four live from Sofia, Bulgaria, PBS's Ocean Odyssey, Phil Collins, Going Back, live at the Roseland Ballroom, New York City, The Sound of Music as either a 3-disc set or a limited collector's set, Thomas Kincaid's Christmas Cottage, The Complete First Season, 1954's White Christmas, Wild Ocean in 3D, and Disney's calibration disc, Wow, World of Wonder. That's on my list. Hey, it's time to thank one of the sponsors of today's show, Netflix. This week, Mr. Norton prompted me to finally sit down and experience the Paul Newman classic, Cool Hand Luke, that's been sitting in my watch instantly queue since I first became a subscriber to Netflix. It's a great flick, and it's available in the Blu-ray format too. With more than 15 million members, Netflix is the world's largest subscription service, instantly streaming TV episodes and movies over the internet and sending DVDs by mail. Netflix members can instantly watch unlimited TV episodes and movies streaming to their TVs and computers, and can receive unlimited DVDs delivered to their homes in about 1 business day, all for one low monthly price. With Netflix, there are never any due dates or late fees, and shipping is always free. Members can select from a growing library of titles that can be watched instantly, and a vast array of titles on DVD. Among the large and expanding number of devices streaming TV episodes and movies from Netflix are Microsoft's Xbox 360, Sony's PlayStation 3 game console, and the Nintendo's Wii console. As a new member and HD Nation viewer, you can get a free trial membership. Go to netflix.com/HDNation and sign up now. Be sure to use this URL so that they know we sent you.
I've gone Blu-ray and internet only in my house, so Mr. Heron and his Comcast cable got the Logitech review for testing. It's one of the slate of new Google TV boxes, which also includes Sony Internet TVs and a Sony Blu-ray player. How did the Logitech Super Set-Top Box hold up under examination, Mr. Heron?
Dun dun! Pretty well for, I'd say, a 1.0 product.
Right.
The setup was about as easy as it gets. It's got a beautiful little HDMI pass-through system built into this, so basically you take the output from your set-top box, run it into here, run the output into your AVR or right into your TV, however you get it or however you have it set up at home. Run through a basic setup that includes basically entering the model numbers for all of the equipment that you're using. Once that's done, you can basically switch over to the RF keyboard, which is really nice because it doesn't require a line of sight to the device. Right. And once I had it set up, configured with my gear at home, I would say the infrared emitters that are built into what they call the companion box there, I believe that's referred to as, it puts off so much infrared light that it was able to hit the devices in the rest of my stack, including the TV itself, without the need of an infrared blaster.
And you don't have a particularly dark room, so that's a nice bit of
No,
IR
it's right next to a big bright window with light coming in and everything. And it was pretty, I was surprised I didn't need the IR blaster, but it included one if I did need it, if I was having communication problems with my gear, because when I enter a TV channel on here, or I hit like the guide button or the DVR button, it would just control my set-top box and bring that information right up on the screen. In addition, of course, of Google TV's overlay.
No, I got to say, I am honored that Logitech packed links to Tekzilla out of the gate, since there doesn't seem to be any way to add fresh podcast, videocast manually in Google TV yet. But it's interesting, right? Because this is designed to combine internet television from YouTube, places like Tekzilla, places like CNET, places like the list could go on for a long time, with the content stored in your local server, with your cable or your satellite.
That's
internet.
it in a nutshell, right there. And I didn't mention that, yeah, but you're right. It's Wi-Fi built in as well as Ethernet. So once it's connected to your network, if you have storage on your network like I do, it was able to see my pictures and music and video files as well and play them back. Although video playback support is currently in beta, and it even says so in terms of the format support. So trying to nail down exactly what formats will be supported in the final version of the software. I guess it can always change, but there wasn't a grand list, so I wasn't really sure what encodes I should be dealing with to make this the most happy as far as the unit goes. Definitely didn't support ISO files if you're encoding backing up all your movies and things like that. But for audio and video support too, the problem I had is I'll have multiple encodes of the same audio track for testing, and it didn't tell me which one it was playing.
Oh, funny.
So I could do some detective work and figure that out to figure out which one it actually was compatible with, but it'd be nice if it just gave me some info as far as that file is and file type.
One of the trippy things about this you were just talking about before we started shooting was this is actually an Atom-powered PC. There's a lot, for a set-top box, there is a tremendous amount of computing power in here.
Totally. That's actually the performance using the web browser. It's Chrome, of course, because it's Google. Using that web browser on my TV felt similar to the effect of using, say, my home theater PC running an Atom Ion setup, running a browser on a screen. So that part was there. It's nice. If you've never used a browser in your living room and you don't feel like dragging a computer into the living room, this could be one way to do it.
Chrome looks really good. Chrome browsing web pages looks really good on this.
Totally.
How about the video and the audio experience for content? I mean, because they do Netflix, I want to say Amazon Video on Demand, a lot of different ways of getting video into this. You can't connect a Blu-ray drive to it. So,
not yet. Although it does have 2 USB ports in the back for direct connection of storage if you've got content and you want to keep it right next to it.
But how well did it do between taking the video from your cable box and then taking video from your collection?
I saw no obvious degradation of any kind of picture quality from my cable box to my TV set. Right. I will say, however, though, it was converting the component video format coming out of, say, and this is through the HDMI cables, like my set-top box, my TiVo outputs in the component video format, my Blu-ray player outputs in the component video format, my TV, a full wireless keyboard, and that ability to then pull in your content from various sources, including content you're pulling down from broadcasters as well. This is a good first step. I'd say it's even more compelling if you're a disc subscriber, maybe a little less compelling if you have any of the other scenarios I mentioned.
Good to know. Ladies and gentlemen, first one we've seen, we've got the Sony Internet TVs coming up, and who knows what's going to be coming out. Oh, and we got a Boxy Box on the way soon.
Boxy Box!
Yes, the Boxy Box by D-Link we've been waiting for so long. Right now, though, it is time for a message from one of our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. It is Squarespace. Squarespace offers users a flexible, tool. It's a website, it's a hosting service. Squarespace gives anyone, doesn't matter how technically savvy you are, if you want to make an amazing looking blog or any kind of website, a portfolio, a store, whatever your level of coding experience is, even if it's zero, Squarespace can give you tools to make a beautiful, high-end, complex website that is uniquely your own without paying tons of cash. And don't worry if you have any questions, issues, or just want to figure something out. Squarespace offers every user 24/7 support. And Squarespace has a pretty slick iPhone app. They recently updated it. They added in some pretty neat new features like full HTML blog editing on the go and comment moderation so you can get push notifications and approve new comments, mark existing comments as spam, reply to your comments, and quite a bit more, all from your iPhone, so you can do it pretty much anywhere. Look, many of the internet's most highly trafficked web pages are powered by Squarespace. And you know what? A lot of the personal pages of many of Revision 3's hosts and personalities run it on Squarespace. It's a pretty solid service, people. Check out squarespace.com to learn more. And if you decide to purchase Squarespace, to give you a 2-week free trial. If you like it, they want you to bring out your credit card. If you decide to pay for the service, use the code HDNation when you check out. You're going to score 10% off your order for the life of your order. That's 10% off for life, people. That is a great deal. From the, did I really say Mike department? Hey Patrick, An American Werewolf in London was directed by John Landis, not Mike Landis. J-Mac from Collegeville, Pennsylvania. J-Mac, you are absolutely correct. I have no idea what was going on inside my thick little skull when I said John, no, when I said Mike instead of John. John Landis, by the way, directed the unbelievably awesome 2007 documentary Mr. Warmth, the Don Rickles Project. Really great thing. Last time I saw it was on HBO. It's on DVD now. And oh yeah, The Blues Brothers, Animal House, Twilight Zone, the movie, Trading Places, Thriller, the music video, the thing with the hand and the glove and the monsters in the red jacket, Three Amigos, and the legendary The Kentucky Fried Movie, most of which I own. So, Mr. Landis, my apologies, but hey, dude, you're getting residuals from my Blu-ray addiction, man. So, thumbs up. Add another, room to your mansion thing.
Hey, Matt adds, hey, Patrick and Robert, wanted to let you guys know about a few things. Okay. First, a good source for information on Netflix Instant Watch streaming titles is InstantWatcher.com. It will give you all the info on HD and non-HD streaming titles and what is coming on the horizon.
Nice.
Second, the name of the director for American Werewolf in London is, everyone?
John Landis, not Mike Landis.
Third, Halloween has been on Blu-ray since October 2nd, 2007. Both the original and the remake by Rob Zombie are also on Blu-ray. I look forward to your next episode. Thanks, signed, Matt.
Thanks for the tip on Instant Watcher, Matt. And yeah, neither of us are huge Halloween fans, but for people that are, go forth and get your Blu-ray on.
I like the holiday.
The holiday? Not the Halloween?
Costumes and candy.
You like the holiday. You're
The
a big
holiday.
Halloween. Yeah,
The
we
movies-
both like the costume Halloween candy thing.
Yeah.
The movies, just not so much.
I'm scared enough in real life.
It's true, man. That's why he's armed all the time. Robert, that's a joke. Don't arrest him. When we're in Beverly Hills stalking
No.
Mr. Cameron, we're not armed. Robert asked what y'all use to make MKV files, and y'all responded in volume. Here's 3 of the top software tools from the emails. Gerard says, hey guys, love the show. Robert asked what software people use to make MKV files. I use the beloved Handbrake. I use Handbrake to rip my DVD collection so that I can use it on my Media Center XBMC. I find MKV works better on my Linux XBMC Media Center. I'm not sure if the MKV option is on Mac or Windows Handbrake, but it is on Ubuntu.
It's on all platforms.
Yeah.
Love that. And it'll encode Blu-ray content as well.
Nice.
Although you have to get around the protection schemes. That's a whole other story.
So Gerard, when you're ready to move to Blu-ray, Handbrake's going with you.
You're a step ahead of the game. Hey, Adam writes in, quote, the best video encoder that I have found is simple but powerful. It's called Super by eWriteSoft. It batch encodes into just about every audio and video format, including ones that I've never heard of. It's freeware. You can download it from here. URL. Love the show. Signed, Adam, Salt Lake City, Utah. And Spencer says, make MKV, of course. Hey, make MKV.com. It can rip DVDs and Blu-rays to the MKV format, and it runs on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Multi-platform support is always good.
Yeah, finally, in case you're wondering what makes Matroska or MKV files so intriguing, we got this email from JP in Marietta, I assume Georgia. He says, I use MKVs to A, transcode to a more efficient format for online video storage, X.264, B, place multiple language audio tracks into a single file, C, include multiple subtitle tracks in the same file, D, occasionally fix the aspect ratio for video playback without transcoding, E, correct any audio or video playback sync issues using FPS or frame per second settings. Seeing 5 different subtitle tracks is a simple pleasure for people who appreciate different languages. The WDTV Live HD deals with MKV and multiple audio and multiple subtitles almost perfectly. Almost. The change to compress the MKV audio headers that the MKV Tools author made default in June did force some changes to my settings.
Yeah. Doing all this usually means an 8GB DVD becomes less than 2 gigabytes without any noticeable quality loss, and I can still practice my Spanish or French with the help from the subtitles. Always cool. JP adds that he's using Handbrake and my custom Perl scripts developed over the last 5 years to deal with M encoder handled TiVo and over-the-air HD content just fine, except subtitles on CC3. In the script, I use MKV Merge CLI program directly to shove the X.264 M encodered video with AC3 or MP3 and subtitles into the MKV container.
Stuff.
Scripting means never doing things over and over again, and basically the whole process is automated. That's the only downside to Handbrake. Handbrake makes most things easier for MKVs and DVDs.
He also adds, this is an epic email by JP, there is a downside to MKV's Windows 7 Media Center doesn't support the format without installing a codec pack and, this is the important part, a registry hack. He says he looks forward to hearing what others are doing with MKVs. Wow, thank you, JP.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And everybody who wrote in. We got a serious response when we popped that question out there, and you guys came through.
You guys are all so smart and you're so friendly and you share information and we can share it with everybody back, get this whole information thing going. It's like so internet web 2.0, man. Sorry.
It is a beautiful thing.
And we're all emotional because of the baseball game thing.
It is. It's going on right now.
Yeah.
Game 1. Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of HD Nation. As always, we want to know what you think. So do send your comments, questions, or suggestions to hdnation@revision3.com.
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/HDNation, and you can find links to pretty much everything we talked about in today's show in the show notes for the episode page at hdnation.tv.
Hey, plus you'll find all the links to subscribe to the show, so So please subscribe and watch. And until next time.
Thanks for watching. I'm Patrick Dorton.
And I'm Robert Heron. We'll see you next week.